Set the side flaps of the SLS AMG Roadster. Perform the steps shown on both sides of the vehicle. Cover the fender and connect a battery charger. But caution, if the vehicle has a carbon package in the engine compartment, as a precaution remove the cover over the battery. This prevents scratches or damage caused by sparks on the ground terminal. In our case, the side flaps are not in the correct position. They must fit flush. Close the top until the flap stands straight up. First, loosen the screw of the reinforcement. It consists of a pan head and a flathead screw. Then put a clean cloth under the flaps so no parts fall under the top. Now loosen the screw on the clamping element and remove both. Now you can remove the Bowden cable. Shims are installed under the screws. Per screw there may be a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 5 shims. Additional shims can be ordered. Because in our case the flaps are a little too low, we use 3 additional shims. Note, the retaining recesses must point inwards. Then close the flaps and check them. Repeat the steps several times until the flaps are flush with the frame. The tolerance is 2 mm or lower. Now the height is right, but the side spacing is not good. As you can see in the picture on the left. The picture on the right shows how it should look. Move the flap back up and start on the lateral adjustment. Undo the 3 screws a little. Then adjust the flaps laterally. Then tighten the screws with 5.5 Newton meters. Then check again that the gap is uniform. Do this until it is positioned correctly. Then tighten the 3 screws with 5.5 Newton meters. Open the flaps again and thread in the Bowden cable. Start with the longer side of the cable to the rubber sleeve in the lower pulley. Another tip: fix the lower part of the cable with tape. This makes it easier to work on the upper part. Now hook in the end at the top. Then slide in the tensioner and roll the cable to the pulley. Loosen the lock nut and unscrew the grub screw almost entirely. Now unscrew the tensioning screw until the auxiliary flap has slight contact with the main flap. Then turn the tensioning screw 1.5 turns. Then tighten the pan head and the flathead screw of the reinforcement slightly. Then tighten with a torque of 5.5 Newton meters. Now set the stop correctly. Check whether the distance from the roll bar to the flap is 1 to 2 millimeters. When this is okay, tighten the grub screw until it rests against the stop and the flap moves slightly. Then tighten the grub screw with the nut. If the clearance is too small, correct it using the grub screw. This will affect the cable tension, so it must be adjusted again. The grub screw is in the preset position. Check the distance between the flaps and the soft top. It should be at least 6 millimeters. Once that is done, perform a function test. Operate the flaps 3 or 4 times. If everything is okay, the adjustment is complete.